I don't think there's a French pastry shop or a French bistro that doesn't serve an apple tart. And the truth is, it's a really simple thing. It's just pastry, apples, butter, and sugar. And it is my all-time favorite dessert. So I've got 4 apples here. They're Granny Smith apples. For small pastries, I like to use small ones. And I'm just slicing them really thinly. I'll show you the pastry. So what I use is puff pastry. Frozen puff pastry you buy it in the grocery store. And I leave it in the fridge so it's nice and cold when I'm working with it. Didn't roll it out, didn't do a thing, just cut it in quarters. So take the apples and just arrange them really neatly, overlapping slices, right onto the tart. This is why it's important, if you're making small tarts, you want small green apples. So otherwise they're too big to fit on. Just one right here and one right there. And once I've got all the apples on, I'm gonna sprinkle it with sugar and dot it with butter and put it in the oven. And it's gonna be so delicious. Of course, you can make your own pastry, but with puff pastry, it's so fantastic. Why would you bother? So I'm just gonna sprinkle these with about 3/4 cup of sugar. I very often make this in one large tart, but it's so much more special when it's smaller tarts. Everybody gets their own. Just sprinkle it on as evenly as you can. And what's gonna happen is these bake at a high temperature and the sugar just caramelizes, gets sweet and golden brown. So good. So I have 6 tablespoons of butter. I'm just gonna cut it in little pieces and then just dot the apple tarts with that. I mean, how French is this? This is just such a classic French bistro dish. So little bits of butter on the top, and that's gonna mix with the sugar and it'll just caramelize the apples. And the best part is the house smells so good when you make this. Okay, into the oven, 400 degrees for about 40 minutes, and they're gonna come out caramelized and brown and so delicious. And now all I have to do is make a really simple apricot glaze. This glaze couldn't be simpler. Put 3/4 cup of apricot jelly into a small pan. Add 3 tablespoons of Calvados, or you can use water if you like. Just stir them together and heat it up until it's bubbly. When the apple tarts are beautifully browned, take them out of the oven and then brush them all over with this glaze. It's gonna make them shiny and luscious looking.